I'm Laurie Bates and I work for Create Better Health SNAP Ed program. And I'm so glad you're here to join me. Today we're going to talk about busy schedules, family mealtime, food safety, and just a little bit on exercise. We're also going to make a veggie skillet that can be done in an electric skillet, just a regular saute pan, a large one, or a wok if you have one, but I don't. So this is the next best thing. And I happen to have one, so there we go. Well, you know, busy schedules are one of the most common barriers for not eating your dinner as a family at mealtime. And one of the ways that you can do better with that is by getting a calendar like this. Around town, maybe, or your bank might have a free one that you can use, and write your meals, your dinner or your breakfast, whatever you would like, on these calendars. And then you can also put along with your things that you're doing so that they can kind of match with each other. So if you have like a soccer game, you might want something really quick and easy like this. Or maybe you would like sandwiches or something like that. Or if you have a little more time, then you could do a more complicated dinner or meal or breakfast. So when you line them up together, it makes it a little bit more easier for you, and you're more likely to stick to it versus if you don't do anything. Okay? Another way is, we've talked before about menu planning, and that is really a good way too, because this can go on your refrigerator and everyone in your family can see what you've planned or what you've planned together and know more what's for dinner, what's for breakfast, etc., because it's all right here. So you would fill it out and just post it onto your refrigerator or your family note board or whatever is like a area that you guys put all your events and stuff like that on. That would be a good place. Starting with your ads from your local grocery store so that you know what's going to be going on sale, and you can put it on your menu planning or your calendar, whichever one, it works. Okay, so those will help. Then some other things to remember is that it doesn't have to be dinner. It could be breakfast that you eat together. We always think of family mealtime as being at night or with dinner, but you can do it just as much in the mornings if you have time as you can at night. Or you could do a breakfast on Saturday mornings or Sunday mornings and then have, you know, one or two other dinner nights during the week and leave the other ones for the times when you're really busy. Okay, involve your family, making sure that they help you. You know, if you're going to do it all by yourself, it's going to take some time. But if you have one or two or three or more hands to help you, it will go that much faster. And cleanup will be faster too, which is a plus. And so I'll put a chore chart for different ages on the comments section on the Create Better Health website. So that would be JUAB Create Better Health website, and you will see it there. If you're on YouTube right now, you probably won't see that particular handout. You have to go to our website to get that. All right, so involve everyone in preparation, cleanup, and planning. Okay, and then I think that you'll have better luck at them eating their meal too. Okay, cook once, but then use it for more than once. So you could cook once and then use it for 2 or 3 different meals down the week. You could double or triple whatever you're making and freeze some of it. Save some for lunch or for another dinner a couple of days out. Leftovers are cooked and then refrigerated as quickly as possible. It has to be done within that 2-hour frame of when bacteria starts to really spread throughout your food. You know, my mom used to put her meat on the counter, and that's what I grew up with. And of course, as I've gotten older and things have changed and people have done more research into bacteria and how it works, we know that that's not the way to do things. And so it's important that we don't keep food out for more than that 2-hour span or that window. Prepping your food when you get home from the supermarket and rinsing them, making sure they're clean, and then chopping and putting them in little sacks or into containers so that your family can just reach and grab, okay, so that you won't have to worry about standing there cutting up stuff. It'll already be done for maybe, let's say, 2 to 3 days out. Okay, another thing too is if you're gonna do like chicken or grill it or, you know, put it on the barbecue or whatever, make enough so that in a day or so you could make a Caesar salad with it, or just a chef salad or a chicken salad, anything like that. Yeah, come spring and summer to go to our farmers markets. They have wonderful produce here locally in Utah, so it's very, very good to go there first and get what you can there, and then get the rest of your produce at maybe a supermarket or something like that. All right, so I wanted to just kind of go through that with you before we started to make our veggie skillet, okay? And that veggie skillet is just all vegetables and a grain. And then we topped it with some nuts. You can top it with macadamia, almond, cashews. I have some pumpkin seeds that I'm gonna top with some of mine today. But you can use anything that you have on hand or that's in your pantry. So go look and see what you got. All right, so let's get started. I'm gonna go ahead and take my pan to 350 degrees. If you can always lower it if you need to, but I think 350 has always done me well, okay? Then, while that's heating up a little bit, I've got some garlic here, and the garlic is rather big, so I wanted to show you to go ahead and pretend that you've got some hot glue or something at the top of the tip of your knife. Then put your hand on top, and then just kind of rock it back and forth to make this smaller, because I'm not I have a big chunk of garlic in my mouth person. If you don't mind it and you like it, there's so many people that do love garlic. They just love, love, love garlic. And I like garlic, but not in big doses, okay? So I got that 2 cloves of garlic already in chopped up, okay? Then I'm gonna do 3 tablespoons of water. I thought I put here. Okay, I'll just put some in here. About 3 tablespoons. And we're gonna use water instead of oil because it doesn't have any calories, it doesn't have any fat, and it's free. And it works, just wonderful. So you can see that it's starting to get all kind of steamy. And then I just bought some Steam and Easy vegetables. They're the California blend vegetables. You can use stir fry. You can just do a bunch of vegetables you have in your freezer that are already there. That's an excellent way to do that. And then some a half a cup of green frozen peas. So we'll get all those in there. And get some dishwater ready so that you can just put your dishes in the water, all but your knives and sharp tools. Those need to go off to the side so that you don't cut yourself. Okay, so we're just going to get that moved around, and I'm going to put my lid on, okay? And if you've got some canned goods you'd rather use, that would be fast too. All right, and then we're going to do the garlic and some onions. And I had some frozen, so I'm just going to put those spring onions right into my container. And then I'm going to go ahead and scoot this garlic in here. Okay. And then I'm going to put my seasonings in. I don't have any chili powder, but I do have pepper. Pepper, it can substitute a chili, but it's not as hot in heat. But it still has a little bit of a heat flavor to it. So I'm going to go ahead and put about 1/4 of a teaspoon of that. But you can add what you would like and taste it and see what you think. I also didn't have any fresh not garlic, but I didn't have any fresh ginger. I did have ground, however. So in the recipe it calls for a tablespoon of fresh ginger that's been grated, or chopped, whichever one. But if you don't have that, like me, go ahead and do 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground ginger to replace that. Okay, so 1/4 of a teaspoon replaces 1 tablespoon of fresh. Okay. Then we're going to get a spoon and we're just going to work this around a little bit. You see that steaming rather nice. Ooh, these vegetables are so beautiful. Okay, then let's go ahead and do our tablespoon of chicken granules. And just go ahead and sprinkle that in our water. And then we're going to add 1/2 cup of soy sauce. And we're going to just put that in our water too. We have 2 tablespoons of honey. And then we're just going to mix this particular sauce up. Okay. And that will get all nice and worked in there as it heats up. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and put my honey in here. And mix that around. So that's nice and mixed up, and then we're going to put our top on and we'll finish a little bit of our lesson. And let's go ahead and go, while that is simmering for about 3 to 4 minutes, let's go ahead and talk about food safety. And we're going to start with washing your hands. I know everybody has probably drilled this into everyone's head by now, but we'll just scan over it really quick. We're going to do 20 seconds in between everything up the wrist, warm sudsy water. How about that? That's pretty fast, right? It's important that we do wash our hands because our hands, they do spread illness, causing bacteria problems. And actually, bacteria causing illness. I had it backwards. Next thing is clean. Bacteria can be spread throughout the kitchen with your hands. So it's really important. We touch a lot of things. If you've ever noticed how many times you've touched things when you're cooking, you'll see that this is true. That we're constantly going from handles to cupboards, to tables, to silverware. So it's really important that when we're in the kitchen, well, always, but in the kitchen especially, that we keep our hands and our cutting boards and utensils and countertops all clean. Always make sure that your dishes are clean and that your cutting boards are nice and clean as well. Okay, clean your fruits and your vegetables, and what I mean by clean is rinse them and make sure they're free of dirt. Okay. Next one, separate. Cross-contamination is how bacteria is spread. And a lot of that is done with raw meat, chicken, seafood, eggs, stuff like that. So it's important that we do not mix our vegetables and fruits with these items. We need to keep them separate. And if we need to, just do all the meat first, get it all washed up, and then do the fruit, vegetables, or the opposite way will work as well. The results are harmful if you don't do it. So be very, very careful. And we don't want to spread that bacteria from the meat all through the kitchen either. So make sure that you're careful to keep your hands clean again. Okay, then the next thing is chill. Refrigerate foods quickly and in a shallow dish. So it's important that we keep food that we just made, put it in a shallow 2-inch type of dish. Because the more depth that we have, the longer it's going to take for it to cool down. And we need to get it cooled down fast so we can get it in the fridge so that that bacteria doesn't spread. Okay, so our refrigerator needs to stay 40 degrees or below, and don't cram so much into your refrigerator. Try and keep the air flowing in your refrigerator. Okay, and then keep an appliance thermometer in there if you can, and if you don't have one, think about getting one. Put it on your shopping list. All right, then in your freezer, keep it at 0 degrees or below, and never leave your foods unrefrigerated for that 2 hours. Okay, and also follow your defrosting rules. Remember what those were. And one's microwave, you can do it in the microwave. The other is you could put them in a sink of cold water and drain it every half hour and put new cold water in. Or put a plate in the bottom shelf of your refrigerator and put whatever you're de-thawing on top of there so the juices don't drip into the crispers and stuff. Okay. Also, cook is the next one. Food is safely cooked when it reaches a high enough internal temperature that it kills bacteria. So but it needs to be 165 degrees or whatever your meat needs to be of what you're cooking with. Okay, reheating leftovers, you need to cook those to 165. And keeping your leftovers for 3 to 4 days, okay? And making sure that they're used by then. All right, don't forget to exercise. We've talked about that before, and whatever you choose to do, however you choose to do it, counts, okay? So it could be 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and just make sure it adds up to 30 minutes every day for 5 days, okay? And don't forget your resistant training, and then also your aerobics and getting your heart just a beating, okay? So make sure that you put those into those 5 days. So whatever you decide to do, that's what you should be doing. And if you need to mow your lawn for the whole 30 minutes, then, go for it. I think that's doable as well. And remember, it all adds up. All right, so let's get busy finishing this up. Okay, make sure when you take your lid off your pan that you're pointing it away from you so all that steam doesn't hit your face. We don't want burns on our face or hands. Okay, that's really important that we remember that. Get all this going, and then I like my veggie skillet to be with a lot of broth in it. So this is going to be quite a bit of broth, but I like it that way because if you use rice, it tends to soak it up and then you don't have a whole lot left over. Okay, so now we're going to put our cornstarch into our cold water, okay? And make sure that it's cold because it'll lump up otherwise, and we don't want lumpy sauce. Okay, and then once you get that all looking like milk, Just pour that right into your stir fry here. And then you'll see that it starts to thicken up, and it will be ready for your rice. And I already have my rice going, and I already have a plate done. And I'm just going to put this on warm. And have that all ready and going. Then I wanted to show you, this is what this looks like when it's done, with a little bit of rice and all your veggies. And then take some nuts of your choice and just kind of sprinkle it over your dish, and you have got yourself a meal, and it was fast and easy and healthy. So I hope that you will give this a try, and that you'll remember to exercise and keep your kitchen safe. Also, make sure to involve your family and make plans as to when and how and what you're going to be eating for your meals. And I want to say thanks again for supporting this program from my home to yours. Bye now.